Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestler's Way and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. And yeah, I can't believe it's finally come around, but the draft is here. Yeah, it feels like it's come around quite quickly this year. That may just be me, but yeah, I think it's fair to say we're in need of a reset. So yeah, let's see what changes bring, and let's get straight into it. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville kicked off night one, and they announced the first 5 superstars: Roman Reigns to SmackDown, Big E to Raw, Charlotte and Bianca Belair swap brands to round off the draft. Yeah, not going to go too deep into my thoughts on this. Going to do it in a separate video, so let's just get straight into Roman Reigns walking out next with Paul Heyman and heading to the ring. Heyman and Reigns made the crowd acknowledge the champ. Heyman said that Reigns was a super success and will beat Brock at Crown Jewel. Lesnar walked out and stared Roman down. Reigns threw the first punch before the Beast Incarnate quickly got back in control and hit numerous German suplexes. Roman retreated and the Usos got hit with F5s. Yeah, this was great. This is exactly how Brock should be used without Heyman. Yeah, just all violence, no talk. Yeah, really enjoyable. Before we got Kevin Owens versus Happy Corbin. Corbin introduced his new friend, Madcap Moss, before the match. Moss tripped up KO on the apron. Before Owens quickly got back in control and hit a near fall. Corbin took him back to the ring, however, and hit one more End of Days, picking up the win. Yeah, solid win for Kevin Owens. Riddick Moss now, or whatever he's called now. Hopefully, yeah, he can take Corbin to the next level. But yeah, I'm kind of bored of this feud, which is why I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And also the way Kevin Owens just got buried. That guy's definitely going to AEW. Before round 2 happened, Drew McIntyre and New Day were drafted to the Blue Brand, while RK Bro and Edge went to Raw. A couple of surprising picks in there. Drew was backstage and said that he was coming after the Bloodline and he was going to win the Universal title. Before Edge was out next and reminded us of what happened when he faced Rollins. He addressed Rollins and said he was still recovering. And Messiah showed up on the Titantron and taunted Edge for not accepting defeat. He called the Hall of Famer a liar and revealed he was at Edge's house. The Rated R Superstar made a run while Seth was going through his fridge. Seth made fun of where Edge's daughters are on the fridge before sitting down on a fireplace. Edge called his wife and told her not to go home. This was very weird, that's all I'm going to say. Before we got Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Carmella took a punch to the face right away from Morgan before rushing out of the ring. Carmella then got back in the ring and hit some big kicks before getting the X Factor in to wipe her out. Carmella celebrated like she won the match, but nothing was called and the match never started. Yeah, this is kind of run its course now and it's kind of weird. So I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10 to be honest. Before Sonya Deville and Pearce were back out again with round 3. Happy Corbin and Moss were staying on SmackDown along with newcomers from NXT, Hit Row. Interesting to see them on the main roster. And then you got Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH and Keith Lee remaining on Raw. Before we got the New Day and the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy and the Dirty Dogs. Ford managed to hit Gable with some big kicks and a body drop early on, but the Dirty Dogs and Otis got on the apron. After a break, Gable took a counter and a dive from Ford with a bridge pin, but Montez kicked out. Rude and Dawkins were in next, and the latter was cleaning house. Otis was sent outside and Ford hit a big dive on him before Kingston took him out and hit Ziggler with a dive. New Day then hit their combined finisher in the ring with Rude to pick up the win. I'm going to give this 6 out of 10. Yeah, this is a fun little tag team match, nothing special, but yeah, fun little TV match. Before round 4 commenced, with SmackDown getting Naomi and Jeff Hardy and the Mysterios and Austin Theory going to Raw. Good to see Austin Theory finally getting on the main roster, and a few interesting picks there. Before Jeff Hardy was backstage and Brock Lesnar interrupted his interview, he made an announcement thanks to his good friend Paul Heyman. Brock got to see what his rights. Reigns was in the locker room and asked if him and Heyman were good friends before questioning why the Usos weren't drafted. Paul called himself the wise man. Reigns mocked that. Roman told Heyman that if he didn't get the Usos on SmackDown, he was going to kill them. And basically that was all we got. Before we got a WrestleMania rematch between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Becky was on commentary. Bianca tossed Banks outside early on and Becky taunted them for the announce tech, so he headed to a break. Banks then hit a Meteora for a near fall from Bianca before taking back control. On the apron, Sasha missed the sunset powerbomb before Bianca drove her into the barricades. Bianca and Becky got in a scuffle. Banks took the advantage and got the pin before Charlotte Flair came in and wiped out both Banks and Belair and posed in the ring and had a stare off with Becky. Yeah, that was good. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Really entertaining match, and Charlotte adding to this added a little extra dimension. Overall this week, SmackDown gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I don't know, there was something just a bit off with SmackDown. It kind of felt like a Raw from the early half of this year. Yeah, just kind of lots of repeats. I don't know, it just wasn't my favourite show, but the draft and that main event added an extra dimension to the show, so it was decent enough. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me your thoughts, comments down below. If you're on Twitter, thank you so much for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel, greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.